Hey, welcome back to the wonderful videos of Frankenstein. This is Read to Me, Matt Dunn. I'm Matt Dunn, and I'm going to read to you. Chapter 6, Part 2. Geneva, May 12th, 17. Clerval, who had watched my countenance as I read this letter, was surprised to observe the despair that succeeded to the joy I at first expressed on receiving news from my friends. I threw the letter on the table and covered my face with my hands. Whoosh! My dear Frankenstein, exclaimed Henry, when he perceived me weep with bitterness. Are you always to be unhappy? My dear friend, what has happened? He's like, you always gotta bitch and cry about everything? What is it now? Henry sounds like a dick, to be honest. I motioned to him to take up the letter while I walked up and down the room for the extremest agitation. Tears also gushed from the eyes of Clerval as he read the account of my misfortune. This is Clerval. I can offer you no consolation, my friend, he said. Your disaster is irreparable. What do you intend to do? To go instantly to Geneva. Come with me, Henry, to order the horses. That's it. All right, so during our walk, Clerval endeavored to raise my spirits. He did not do this by common topics of consolation, those maxims of the Stoics, that death was no evil, and that the mind of a man ought to be superior to despair on the eternal absence of a beloved object, ought not to be urged. Even Cato wept over the dead body of his brother. Clerval spoke thus as we hurried through the streets. The words impressed themselves on my mind, and I remembered them afterwards in my solitude. But now, as soon as the horses arrived, I hurried into a cabriole and bade farewell to my friend. Bye. Bye. He's like, wait. I thought we were going together. What's up? And he's like, no. You got to stay here. You told everyone you came here to learn. You just by happen to chance meet me, raise me to health, take care of me, lift my spirits, drop me off. Bye. My journey was very melancholy. At first I wished to hurry on, for I longed to console and sympathize with my loved and sorrowing friends. But when I drew near my native town, I slackened my progress. I could hardly sustain the multitude of feelings that crowded into my mind. I passed through scenes familiar to my youth, but which I had not seen for nearly 6 years. How altered everything might be during that time. One sudden and desolating change had taken place, but 1,000 little circumstances might have by degrees worked other alterations which, although they were done more tranquilly, might not be less decisive. Fear overcame me. I dared not advance. Dreading 1,000 nameless evils that might make me tremble, although I was unable to define them. I remained 2 days at Lausanne in this painful state of mind. I contemplated the lake. The waters were placid. All around was calm, and the snowy mountains. The palaces of nature were not changed. By degrees, the calm and heavenly scene restored me, and I continued my journey towards Geneva. 6 years, you think that place is going to change in 6 years? Maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll get an Applebee's. The road ran by the side of the lake, which became narrower as I approached my native town. I discovered more distinctly the black sides of Jura and the bright summit of Mount Blanc. I wept like a child. Dear mountains, my own beautiful lake, how do you welcome your wanderer? Your summits are clear, the sky and lake are blue and placid. Is this to prognosticate peace? Peace? Or to mock at my unhappiness? You fuck. I fear, my friend, that I should render myself tedious by dwelling on these preliminary circumstances. But they were days of comparative happiness, and I think of them with pleasure. Pleasure. My country, my beloved country, but who but a native can tell the delight I took in again beholding thy streams, thy mountains, and more than all, thy lovely lakes. Ooh, my dead son. Ooh. Yet, as I drew nearer home, grief and fear again overcame me. Night also closed around me, and when I could hardly see the dark mountains, I felt still more gloomily. The picture appeared a vast and dim scene of evil, and I foresaw obscurely that I was destined to become the most wretched of human beings. Alas, I prophesied truly and failed only in one single circumstance, that, in all the misery I imagined and dreaded, I did not conceive the 100th part of the anguish that I was destined to endure. Wow. Wow. This is like, let's do one more page. Holy shiver me timbers. One more page. It was completely dark when I arrived in the environs of Geneva. The gates of the town were already shut, and I was obliged to pass the night at Secheron, a village half a league to the east of the city. The sky was serene. The sky was serene, and as I was unable to rest, I resolved to visit the spot where my poor William had been murdered. Murdered, I say. As I could not pass through the town, I was obliged to cross a lake in a boat to arrive at Plain Palais. During this short voyage, I saw the lightning playing in the summit of the Mount Blanc, and the most beautiful figures. Most beautiful. The storm appeared to approach rapidly, and on landing, I ascended a low hill that I might observe its progress. It advanced. The heavens were clouded, and I soon felt the rain coming slowly in large drops. He's like, just fucking kill me now. Just fucking kill me. You know I deserve it. Just fuck you and kill me. I soon felt the rains coming down slowly in large drops, but its violence quickly increased. I quitted my seat and walked on, although the darkness and storm increased every minute, and the thunder burst with a terrific crash over my head. It was echoed from Salive that the Jura and the Alps of Savoy. Vivid flashes of lightning dazzled my eyes, illuminating the lake, making it appear like a vast sheet of fire. Then, for an instant, everything seemed of a pitchy darkness, until the eye recovered itself from the preceding flash. The storm, as is often the case in Switzerland, appeared at once in various parts of the heavens. The most violent storm hung exactly north of the town. Over the part of the lake which lies between the promontory of Belrive and the village of Copet. Another storm enlightened Jura with faint flashes, and another darkened and sometimes disclosed the mole, a peaked mountain to the east of the lake. While I watched the storm, so beautiful yet terrific, I wandered on with a hasty step. This noble war in the sky elevated my spirits. I clasped my hands and exclaimed aloud, "William, dear angel, this is thy funeral, this thy dirge." As I said these words, I perceived a figure which stole from behind a clump of trees near me. I stood fixed, gazing intently. I could not be mistaken. A flash of lightning illuminated the object and discovered its shape plainly to me. Its gigantic stature and the deformity of its aspect, more hideous than belongs to humanity, instantly informed me that it was the wretch, the filthy demon to whom I had given life. What did he there? What did he there? Could he be? I shuddered at the conception. The murderer of my brother? No sooner did that idea cross my imagination than I became convinced of its truth. My teeth chattered, and I was forced to lean against a tree for support. The figure passed me quickly, and I lost it in the gloom. Nothing in human shape could have destroyed that fair child. He was the murderer. I could not doubt it. The mere presence of the idea was an irresistible proof of the fact. I thought of pursuing the devil, but it would have been in vain, for another flash discovered him to be hanging among the rocks of the nearly perpendicular ascent of Mount Salive, a hill that bounds Plain Palace on the south. He soon reached the summit and disappeared. I remained motionless. The thunder ceased, but the rain still continued, and the scene was enveloped in impenetrable darkness. I revolved in my mind the events which I had until now sought to forget. The whole train of my progress towards the creation, the appearance of the work of my own hands alive at my bedside, its departure. 2 years had now elapsed since the night on which he first received life. And was this his first crime? Alas, I had turned loose into the world a depraved wretch whose delight was in carnage and misery. Had he not murdered my brother? Well, had he not murdered? Had he? Maybe. Well then, if you want to hear more, you know there's going to be more. We're going to have a part 3 of chapter 6, and then we're going to go down chapter 7. This is exciting. I've never read this book. I don't know if you've read this book. I don't even know if you're listening to me reading this book. That's okay. I just want to know if you think it's cool, like, subscribe, share, comment down below, and I'll see you next time.